Good morning, everybody. It is a Friday morning, a very overcast Friday morning. You can't see it in this shot, but I sure can. The clouds are out, and so am I, and so are some of the birds, and plenty of rabbits this morning as well. I'm at my local wildlife refuge. This is Billy Frank Jr. National Wildlife Refuge, which is here about 15 minutes away from where I live in Olympia, Washington. And I'm out here just to relax. We're just gonna take it super easy, super slow, and just try and just photograph some wildlife. Maybe some birds, maybe some bunnies, it just depends. That's kind of the fun part about wildlife photography, is you never know what's gonna come out of the woodwork. We could get a whole bunch of really cool shots. We could get nothing at all. And yeah, I'm open to that. I hope you are too. I've got my EOS R7 on a RF 200 to 800. The one concern about this setup for today is that on the long end, this lens is really dark. It's an f9 lens. So that means we're gonna be shooting probably at really high ISOs until, if at all, the sun breaks through these clouds. So right now, sun hasn't even come up yet. There's definitely no way I'm shooting yet, but I can already see there are plenty of birds flying overhead. We have actually been in the middle of a huge migratory period right now with millions of birds passing through. And man, you can see it. Anytime you look up, there are just birds flying overhead. I'm hoping some of them will come and land in these grasses out here, and maybe we'll come away with a shot. Either way, it's just gonna be a good, relaxing time. Let's get going. A little bit unexpected. The sun still hasn't come up, but it is just starting to hit some mountains, the Olympics actually, which are way off that way. You definitely can't see them in the camera right now. Just starting to lick the top of those mountains, and with this the Nisqually National Nature Center, which is right over here on the tip over here, it's actually quite a nice image. Good way to start the day. So there's a little sparrow on a branch right here, a nice curving branch, and you can probably hear him or her. She's not very happy that I'm here. A lot of chirping going on, but we'll try and get a photo and then leave him or her in peace as we continue down the trail here. I have a fun little quick tip for you, and this isn't a tip that I came up with. It's just something that I've noticed and that I've heard repeated by birders who are way, way more experienced than I am. And that is that if you're wanting to get a photograph of a bird taking off from a branch, a post, a tree, whatever it may be, there's one thing that you need to keep an eye out for, one behavioral cue that that bird is going to give you typically before it takes off. And I'm talking about right before it takes off. And that is the pre-flight poop. It seems weird, but most birds really like to drop a little bit of weight before they go for a flight. So if you see a bird on a branch and it's just chilling out, it's just hanging out, you can probably hang out and relax a little bit too. But if you see a bird that leans over and takes a big old fat poop, that is a sign that you need to be ready with your finger on the shutter button, maybe even with pre-capture or raw burst mode turned on your camera if you have that available to you, because that bird is about to take off and hopefully you're about to get an epic shot. That has helped me capture a lot of shots of birds taking off from branches. Took me a long time to learn it, but as soon as you notice that behavior, you're gonna start seeing it happening everywhere. Hopefully that helps you capture some good shots. So right out here behind me, out there in the water, there is a pelican. And I've never actually seen a pelican out here. I don't think they're all that common in Washington. And I just had the lucky occurrence of someone walking by here who's lived here for 19 years. They've been coming here for 19 years. And he said this is only the third pelican that he's ever seen out here at the wildlife refuge. So really, really happy that I saw it. It is way out there and it is still very dark out here to be shooting at f9, especially at the long end of this lens. But I think I got a decent shot with it just framed really nicely against the water, which is super, super calm. Either way, beautiful bird. Happy to see it. Happy to be out here. Today's turning into something really good. I'm happy. Beautiful heron on a tree way out there. He is turning the other way, but hopefully in a minute he turns his head back. Some really nice reflections down in the water. It's still quite dark out here, but I think there's just enough light for this shot. One of the things that makes this wildlife refuge so amazing as a photographer is that there's a huge range of different birds you can see, and that is owed pretty much down to the fact that there are so many different habitats here. So directly behind me, you can see a boardwalk, and that boardwalk extends from the refuge out, I think, over a mile into the wetlands that you have here. This is the southern tip of South Puget Sound, where McAllister Creek feeds into Puget Sound. And so it is a tidally influenced delta or wetland, essentially. Tons of different birds you can see out there, but all of them are gonna have ties back to the marine environment, like seagulls, greater yellowlegs, things like that, or the pelican that we saw earlier. And then over on the other side of the road, literally about 30 feet away, is a grassland, and we see a completely different type of bird community out here. In the summertime, really tall grasses and the birds that you get associated with that, like a lot of sparrows right now, a lot of wrens, marsh wrens, things like that. But then in the wintertime, they actually come through and they mow down most of this grass. They do leave some patches intact, and those low-lying areas become completely flooded with the rain that we get here in Washington. And then you have these huge pools that get filled up with geese and different types of waterfowl, and occasionally harriers and hawks and other things that are going after things now that the grass is nice and short. So it's a huge diversity of habitat, and with that comes a huge diversity of subjects to shoot. And I'm certainly appreciating that today. Okay, so there's a short-eared owl right up here, right where I was maybe 10 minutes ago. I'm not gonna focus on vlogging right now. I'm gonna focus on trying to get a shot, even just a cruddy shot, because I've never, ever seen a short-eared owl here. It's dipping in and out of the grasslands right now. I think maybe I got some video of it, but man, the adrenaline is pumping right now. Let's see if we can get a shot. Okay, so the owl bedded down in the grass way out here. And I've been sitting for about 30 minutes or so, has not come back out. And that could be a bad sign. It could mean that it's just bedded down for the rest of the day. But I've moved. Sorry, birds are flying all over the place. A lot of ducks, but every time a duck flushes out of the grass, it catches my eye, and I think that's the owl moving. Beautiful, beautiful short-eared owl. I do think I got a couple photos, although they are way far away. The issue that we're going to run into now is, as you can tell, it has gotten a lot brighter, full direct sunlight now, and that means that we're starting to get heat haze off of this grass and the water that's underneath it. So that's going to make things a little bit difficult to shoot. It's going to lead to some lack of sharpness, and it's going to mean that in order to get a good shot of this owl or any other bird out here, I'm going to have to get really close. So I've moved just down the path a little bit from where I was a minute ago, and I did so because there are some trees over here to my right, very close to that heron that I photographed earlier, and I've noticed that there are some belted kingfishers that are popping up into these trees just for 10 or 30 seconds at a time as a stopping point before moving on. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit longer. We might get lucky with a belted kingfisher in the trees, or maybe if we're really lucky, that short-eared owl is going to come up for one more flight before settling down for the rest of the day. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna head home. I gave that short-eared owl about an hour, and in that whole time, didn't pop up out of the grass once. So that just makes me even more grateful that I did get to get a photo of it, even if it's a distant shot when it did pop up out of the grass, just for those couple seconds that it did. I am super happy with today. I came out here with no expectations, and I'm leaving with a few, I think, decent photos. At the very least, certainly leaving with some good memories. So I hope that I see you next week. If you have thoughts about this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I will respond to as many comments as I can down below. And I hope that if you have a space like this in your backyard or in your neighborhood, that you can get out there and shoot just like I did today. Because man, will it do a lot for your mental state. Anyways, hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.